Hear the music.
I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get cute white boy. You gonna get that done. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a get cute white boy. You gonna get that done.
And welcome back to the Mining Market Signal. Guys, my name is Seth, and you're watching Mind Your Biz. Why am I in my bathrobe? Because I'm actually feeling a little bit under the weather. So Uncle Seth is taking it easy. Gonna kind of, dress for the occasion. A little under the weather, just staying warm, just staying, out of an abundance of caution, covering the throat a little bit. Take care of yourself. Self-care is important. Guys, without further ado, let's jump straight into the Fear and Greed Index for the day. Currently have a score of neutral 52. What? What just happened there? How did we get to a score of complete neutrality? Let me give some shout outs to T-Bone Gaming, Bitcoin Jake09, and Crypto Mikkel. Thanks for being here with us live, guys. You're the real ones, part of the fam. Definitely appreciate you being here. But guys, this Fear and Greed Index, Raven Boy Crypto is here as well. Thanks for saying hello. This Fear and Greed Index score is indicative of people really feeling shaken out by the recent price drop. Now, this is the trend line. We see that things have kind of moved sideways for a while, popped into extreme greed for a while, stayed in kind of general scores of greed for about a month, and now we are back to neutrality. People are feeling a certain way about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and otherwise, because they see price go down, number go down. And when number goes down, it shakes weak hands out of the market. We're going to talk about why that's a huge opportunity. And if you haven't already subscribed, by the way, if you're just lurking in the shadows, please don't just lurk. Hit that subscribe button. Make it explode. I mean, let me clear my throat. It helps me. It helps YouTube. It helps the world, right? If we really want to extrapolate, we can really, stretch this analogy out. It helps the world when we talk about cryptocurrencies publicly. Bitcoin Jake offers some great insight in the chat. Appreciate you offering your opinion there, guys. But yeah, go ahead and hit all those buttons. But you need to know that when we look at some of these indicators, none of what we're talking about is legal, financial, business, or other advice. What we're doing is we're taking a look at indicators, and that's it. You can use these indicators and a bit of these pieces of information to educate yourself, to share with your friends and family, and to try to come up with your own strategies. Of course, the best way to do that in terms of understanding your tax liability is to work with a CPA or some other licensed professional that you can turn to when the going gets tough, right? There are some issues with dealing in cryptocurrencies. These are speculative assets. Need to say that for the record, guys. That said, thank goodness these are speculative assets. Otherwise, there would not be such amazing returns when things are on the upswing. Let me go ahead and jump right back into our overview here, guys. We see that, the price has dropped down just a little bit. I'm also going to pop open some of my other information. Some other screens off to the side there, guys. It's already a busy morning for me. This will be a quick cursory overview of the markets, by the way, just so you're aware of what to expect today. But guys, that's our current sentiment. And we're going to talk about why sentiment is the way it is. But first, before we do, I actually have something of a sponsor for today's show. It's kind of nice. I mean, I know I've got little referral links down in the corner. I mean, it's part of the game, guys. I also have ads enabled too. It's that time of the market cycle where if you're not monetizing your content to at least a small extent, it's not that you're wasting your time. It's just that your time could be spent on your day job, right? So we all have bills to pay. I apologize for that in advance, but I'm actually rather excited about this particular sponsor. Turns out that they are just launching a Gleam campaign, and it is, drum roll, Comdex. Comdex is doing an airdrop this coming weekend in celebration of their mainnet launch. Over 10,000 CMDX coins or tokens will be given away, and they're giving away 100 CMDX tokens to 100 people. Plus, for those who participate in the Gleam campaign, they will be airdropping an additional bonus of 150 Comdex tokens for a total of 250 Comdex tokens. Take a look in the description of this video for more details and a direct link to the Gleam campaign. If you're not aware of Comdex, we can talk about them on another video, but it's a project I've been following for some time now. Very impressive on a fundamental level, and the technicals don't exist yet because they are pre-launch. I do not own any because there are none to own. I don't have a pre-sale allocation or a seed round allocation, just so you're aware. Like, this is also that time of the market cycle where we're going on influence or witch hunts. So, like, please don't burn me at the stake. It's just a really strong project that I think you should be aware of. Part of the Cosmos ecosystem and building with the Persistence SDK in the Cosmos ecosystem. I've been telling you for a while, you need to pay attention to Cosmos, and it's projects like this that are the reason why. For disambiguation, just, $5 word for saying, don't be confused. Don't be confused. There are other projects that look like Comdex. There is the CMDX token that has the official site of cmdx.io. That's not the same as Comdex. They'll share the same ticker symbol, but it will be on a different network, and it is a different project. So I just wanted to show you that on Etherscan. Don't go here or onto Uniswap thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to front run the market. Nope, you're going to get wrecked. If you think you're investing in this by going to Uniswap and buying this. So just wanted to make that very, very clear. Guys, the news cycle is out of control, as is the chat. Appreciate you guys being here. Raven Boy Crypto says, sounds really close to Kami Dex. If I hadn't read, I could have swore that's what you said. The Kami Dex. Nah, man, I would never. I need to clutch my invisible pearls here, Raven Boy Crypto. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. Kami Dex can pound sand right back to the Kamiville where they came from. On the Kami horse they rode in on. So, guys, appreciate you being active and chatting. Let's take a look at the news cycle. What is causing this sort of neutral sentiment? Now, we're going to get a reset tonight in terms of the sentiment as measured, but for right now, here's what's going on. It's a story as old as Bitcoin, frankly, and as old as cryptocurrencies. Again, guys, excuse the attire. Feeling a little bit under the weather. Appreciate you coming along for the ride with Uncle Seth. I don't have the corncob pipe because I don't smoke and because my lungs feel like trash. Those two things. But you can see it, right? You can see the corncob pipe for Uncle Seth. It almost works. It almost works. There is somebody in the chat who's saying, yes, as part of capitalism, it is evil. That's funny. You probably typed that from an iPhone. Really, I'm just gonna call this what it is. That kind of comment has got to be dry humor. I'm just laughing with you, buddy, because I don't want to laugh at you. That'd be rude. Anyway, back to our current news cycle, guys. This is why we're seeing that decrease in sentiment. Third largest whale bought $99 million worth of Bitcoin when it was below $60,000. So below $60,000 has been an indicator or a key level that several technicians on crypto Twitter have talked about us needing to hold on to, right? A support level that we needed to hold on to. Otherwise, we might see a precipitous dip. And I don't know that we saw that per se. It did just kind of dip below that level, but the tail of the tape, right, is going to be on our chart. We'll take a look at that in just a second here as well. Golden Wolf is in the chat, says, good morning from Seattle, USA, 6:30 a.m. I'll listen while making breakfast. Hey, appreciate you listening along. We try to have a format that is podcastable, if that makes sense, so you can just listen. But currently, third largest whale bought $99 million at that price. They basically, this is conviction, right? We're seeing conviction. We're seeing somebody who is putting their money where their mouth is. They see that there's an opportunity for buying a dip, right? For being able to arbitrage the difference in markets as we have a general uptrend, and they're just getting in at a better entry point, an entry price. That is, I think, what I'm seeing right there. But let's take a look. Selfish follows up and says, at least I'm aware of it, wink, and try to do it on a short term. I know I'm using evil tech. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When you want to boil the entirety of human existence, you can make the claim, and it's not unreasonable. You can make a logical claim if you bring it to its logical conclusion, or maybe its logical extreme, make the claim that all of life is evil, right? That being alive, one must behave selfishly, ergo, all living beings are inherently evil on some level. I choose to believe that most people at their core operate from a principle of love and uplifting, and that those ties are stronger than the drive just for the profit motive or just to harm others in pursuit of the profit motive. So I respect that you have an opinion. I just strongly disagree with it. So back to our news cycle. That whale buying the dip, they almost got $100 million of that below 60,000 Bitcoin price. And here's the current tail of the tape. Back on our chart. I apologize for that sort of the coughing there, guys. Back on that chart, we drew the chopsticks, and I realized that we didn't do them very, very well. But MACD has flipped bearish, right? It's definitely the histogram on the MACD is dipping even lower into bearish territory as far as that divergence of the moving averages on MACD. And so we're seeing like real time all of this play out. Huge dip. Those calls for $59,000 Bitcoin, they worked, right? They definitely seem to have had some accuracy. And our little like taper right here with an upward trend line, downward trend line, we didn't hold whatever that chopstick line was as support. And I'm not going to say that that's why we dipped so low out of this range. That would be presumptuous on my part. As you know, I don't offer technical analysis on this show. However, we, again, as we have so many times with the chopsticks and then just the MACD as an overlay, we came pretty darn close to being able to define a support line there, a support and a resistance line there. That if we broke out of resistance, we might have gone bullish. And since we broke out of support, it seems to have coincided with us breaking bearish. I don't say that it's causal in nature, but we do see a difference there. We got Dr. Frankenrigs in the chat. Sorry about that. I've got the glasses on. I have no excuse, gosh darn it. But I struggled to read your name there. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So hey, Selfish, I appreciate the clarification of your thoughts there as well. Says there's and I appreciate that we're here to talk about ideologies, guys. At the end of the day, ideas are so much more noble a thing to discuss than people, right? So thank you for not attempting to cancel me because of different ideas. I will not ever attempt to cancel you because of different ideas, or I'll do my best not to, but I appreciate you giving that clarification. Selfish goes on to say that in their opinion, there is an ecocide going on due to capitalism, therefore it's evil. We're on the brink of extinction. I go along with your thoughts that people are fundamentally driven by solidarity. Respect to, hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that. At the end of the day, always want to be able to shake hands and sit, share a meal or a drink with you. And that's the line that I want to live by. So appreciate that. Drinking Milk says, what's the difference between LeBron James and Kyle Rittenhouse? Oh, snap. He got me to say the K word. I'll play along with this too. You guys know I'm something of a 2A supporter, so I'll play along here as well. And then he goes on to say, one of them didn't miss. Oh, snap. He's not wrong. Let's see. Selfish says, I'm the only anarchist in crypto. I'm sorry for my ideology. I don't think you're the only one. There are a lot of voluntarists in crypto, and they're on the border of anarchism, right? That's in terms of political ideology. So there's, as you know, a wide spectrum especially on the libertarian spectrum, wide spectrum that borders very closely on anarchism, but isn't like true anarchism. So we can have that conversation another time. Again, I love discussing these ideas. It's so much more interesting than celebrity gossip or talking about people, right? Like people can be boring sometimes. Gundy Stuff and Things in the chat says, yo, what's up, Crypto Nation? Appreciate you being here. Let me jump out of the way because this is less interesting. Guys, our chart, though, it does show that our chopsticks were off. So a bit like LeBron James, thank you, Drinking Milk. A bit like LeBron James, we did miss with this little chart here. We did notice that this line was broken out of, and now we're down, not in the dumps, but we are below $60,000. And those whales came in and said, you know what, that's a great price. I'm going to grab about $100 million of that. Thank you very much. Why would they do that? Because many bulls are calling for 100 to 200K based on just the options open interest. So bulls, they're betting big. Max Trias says, you are never boring. Thank you. I appreciate you, Max Trias. Guys, if that's true, and if you're lurking, smash that subscribe button and make it explode. I mean, gosh darn it. We can't just sit here doing nothing but watching passively. What will that get us? Nothing, right? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. So here we are back on you today. So I love that we've got a large variety of sources that we use as well. Ryan says, I'm bullish on Lightning Network. Well, I've got some thoughts about Lightning Network too. Let's talk about that as we go into our portfolios, guys. We're going to be a little bit streamlined in our content today, but Lightning Network, probably net positive. Lightning Network, as per the fee model of Bitcoin, probably net negative. It's difficult because it opens up opportunities for developing nations, but it's further difficult because as Bitcoin tapers off its coin emission, and as we near the year 2140, when the last Bitcoin is mined, right, is released through the mining schedule, or the mining subsidy, as Satoshi called it in the white paper, we're going to get to that point where it's fees only, or it's fee-based only, based on transactions on layer 1, not layer 2. So Bitcoin itself, as the settlement layer, needs to exist based on fees, right? Those miners who do stay on, and they're incentivized to keep it the most secure hashing network that's ever been created in the history of the world, and by extension, the known universe, right? So we do have to make sure that fees are still there. We need incentive. So regardless of how people are driven, whether it's through solidarity or it's through selfishness, we need people to believe that there's incentive to mine, because Bitcoin must maintain proof of work. And Lightning Network, we don't talk about this often enough. Lightning Network does not contribute a darn thing to the proof of work of Bitcoin. So it's a bit of an issue. Dr. Frankenrig says, I'm riding on Flux, Raven, and Raptorium right now. Heck yeah, brother. Those are some great projects right there. We'll talk about them in a minute. But bulls are betting on 100 to 200K based on real world data, right? So the options open interest. So if they're putting their money where their mouth is and they believe it's going to go to 100K, gosh darn it, which is why that third largest whale wallet snapped up $100 million dollarinos. Let's take a look at something that's published by, who could have published this? Let's see, Black, Yellow, really strong ideas about KYC. Oh, right, it's sponsored by Binance, but this is yourcryptorights.com. And this is where we get these little soundbite or little snippet for our thumbnail, guys. If you've been wondering why we were going to go with that clickbait, it's because of this, really. Crypto is evil, they claim. And this is why. Crypto is evil. Let's see, take a look. Looks like YouTube is claiming that we've got a low bandwidth error. Let me know if things are coming through clearly, guys. And while you do so, please do hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching, don't just be a lurker. Hit that thumbs up button, be active, and drop some comments into the chat, guys. But crypto is evil, they claim, and this is why. They list what they believe are 10 fundamental rights for crypto users. They believe every human being should have access to financial tools, like crypto, that allow for greater economic independence. Well, I agree. Some would have claimed that PayPal fit that requirement over 15 years ago. So, interesting, but let's move on. 2, industry participants have a responsibility to work with regulators and policymakers to shape new standards for crypto assets. Smart regulation encourages innovation and helps keep users safe. Now, I can't disagree with that. If there is a need for regulation, if government is a necessary evil in our lives, or maybe even an unnecessary evil in our lives, but just a reality, right? A sort of a bittersweet reality of our lives, then perhaps it does follow that they should, with the existing framework, try to open up the flexibility of letting these markets self-regulate to an extent. And then, keep on hearing you guys are saying that it is stuttering. And I'm seeing right now a low bandwidth error from within OBS. I'm going to try this again, guys. Click my settings and try to improve. Let's see, try to improve my bandwidth by going through settings, see if that makes a difference. Well, guys, definitely appreciate